Let's imagine you're walking through the grasslands of Ice Age South America 15,000 years ago. You'd probably expect to see a giant ground sloth, maybe a toxodon, hopefully nothing too dangerous. And then you see it. A cat. But not like any cat alive today. It's built like a bear, low to the ground, massively wide through the chest, with forelegs that look like they were designed to pin a car. And from its upper jaw, curving down past its chin, are two blades of bone, the largest canine teeth of any land predator in Earth's history. This is not a tiger. This is Smilodon, and for 2 million years, it was the most specialized killer the Americas had ever seen. So here's the thing, everyone calls it the saber-toothed tiger. It's in movies, sports teams, museum gift shops, and the name could not be more wrong. Smilodon is not a tiger. It belonged to a completely separate lineage of cats that split from the ancestors of modern lions and tigers over 20 million years ago. Calling Smilodon a tiger is like calling a whale a fish because they both swim. And for nearly 2 million years, this lineage, Smilodon fatalis and its relatives, ruled the Americas. Both of them, north and south. From the fringes of the glaciers down through grasslands and forests, this was the dominant ambush predator on 2 continents. To put that reign in perspective, 2 million years is longer than Homo sapiens have existed. The last Smilodon died roughly 10,000 years ago, meaning this animal was still hunting mammoths and giant ground sloths while humans were already building the first permanent settlements in the Middle East. They overlapped with us, and we rarely talk about it. So why is it that Smilodon had fangs this size? What were those canines actually doing? To understand that, let's take a look at what the teeth were built for, because it wasn't biting. Smilodon's fangs were 7 inches long, about the size of a banana. Most people look at those fangs and assume they were used like a lion's, grabbing, holding, crushing. But the differences between Smilodon's jaw mechanics compared to modern big cats is genuinely terrifying. The jaw-closing muscles of a Smilodon are significantly weaker than a modern lion's. The Smilodon had a lower bite force than a leopard. But here's the weirdest part. Those fangs would have shattered if they hit bone. If Smilodon bit into a struggling prey animal the way a lion does, those 7-inch canines would snap like glass. The largest canine teeth of any land predator in history were too fragile to use as a bite. They were for something else entirely. And this is where it gets interesting. Smilodon could open its mouth to nearly 120 degrees. A modern lion maxes out at about 65. That massive gape wasn't a party trick, it was a mechanical requirement. Those fangs extended past the lower jaw by inches. Without that gape, the teeth couldn't clear the chin to strike. The jaw was a launch ramp. The fangs were the payload. But the teeth doesn't make sense without understanding what the rest of the body was doing. Because Smilodon's body plan was closer to a bear than a tiger. Smilodon was stocky, massively, absurdly stocky. It was low to the ground, wide through the chest, and built like a tank. Its legs were shorter and more robust than any modern big cat. The tail was almost non-existent, just a stubby little nub. This was not a cheetah. This was not built for chasing anything. The forelimb muscles were extraordinary. Muscle attachment points far larger than any living cat of comparable size. We're talking forearms that could generate force that would dwarf a modern lion's. The claws were semi-retractable, good for gripping, designed for one purpose, holding something down. And the spine was rigid, less flexible than a modern cat's, built for stability under load, not for the fluid bounding stride of a cheetah or the acrobatic pounce of a leopard. Picture a 400-pound wrestler with knives attached to its face. That's what this animal was. It wasn't fast, it wasn't agile, It was an ambusher that traded every gram of speed for raw, immobilizing power. So, what does a Smilodon actually do when it hunts? Because the killing mechanism is unlike anything alive today. Here's the sequence. Smilodon ambushes from cover. It closes the distance fast, but in a straight line. This wasn't a pursuit animal. It was a sprint and grapple predator. It hits the prey with those massive forelimbs, digs in the semi-retractable claws, and pins the animal to the ground. Then, the neck takes over. Smilodon had enormous neck muscles, far larger than any modern cat's. These muscles pulled the head downward with tremendous force, and the skull, with that 120-degree gape and those 7-inch fangs, came down in a single precise plunge. The fangs punched into the soft tissue of the throat, where the blood vessels and trachea sit just below the skin. One strike, straight down, severing the major blood vessels and the windpipe simultaneously. The prey died before it could struggle, because if it struggled, those fragile fangs would break. The entire killing system, the weak jaw, the massive gape, the powerful neck, the stocky, pinning body, was engineered around one constraint. The fangs had to hit soft tissue, and they had to kill instantly. Whatever was underneath that strike was not getting back up. But here's where the story shifts from the biology to something you wouldn't expect. Because Smilodon wasn't just a killer, it was a social animal. The La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles are one of the richest fossil sites on Earth. They span 50,000 years of record and have produced over 1 million bones across thousands of species. And here's the thing, more Smilodon specimens have been recovered from La Brea than any other large predator, more than dire wolves, more than American lions. And many of those Smilodon bones tell a story that doesn't make sense for a solitary predator. Broken limbs, fractured vertebrae, crushed shoulders, severe arthritis, debilitating injuries that would have made hunting impossible. And these injuries had healed. Some of these animals lived for years after being hurt. A solitary predator with a shattered forelimb starves. If you can't hunt, you can't eat, so you die. But these Smilodons didn't die. They survived for years, which means someone was feeding them. Someone was bringing them food, sharing kills, caring for the injured. This is social behavior, the same kind of cooperative care you see in wolf packs and lion prides today. And it makes sense, because hunting megafauna with a precision strike killing system is dangerous. Things go wrong. Animals get hurt. A social structure that keeps injured members alive isn't charity, it's survival strategy. And I know what you're thinking, because most people think Smilodon was a lone ambush predator like a tiger, but it's actually not that simple. To understand why Smilodon needed this kind of power and this kind of social structure, let's take a look at what was on the menu. Ice Age North America was not the landscape you see today. The biomass of large animals was comparable to the modern Serengeti. We're talking mammoths, mastodons, giant ground sloths, giant bison with horn spans of 6 feet. This was a world where everything was big. And Smilodon was built specifically for that world. Those powerful forelimbs, that pinning strategy, those precision fangs. None of it makes sense unless your prey is enormous. You don't need 7-inch canines to kill a deer. You need to punch through the thick hide of a giant ground sloth or the neck of a young mammoth. So why does everyone think they know what killed the saber-toothed? Because this is where the story gets really interesting. The last Smilodon died roughly 10,000 years ago, and there are 3 main theories for what caused it. The honest answer is, nobody knows. But the debate is fascinating. Theory 1, a cosmic impact. Around 12,900 years ago, geological layers across multiple continents show a bizarre signature: microscopic diamonds, platinum deposits, tiny spheres of melted rock and a thin layer of burned material. This suggests a comet exploded over the North American ice sheet. The impact would have triggered catastrophic firestorms, thrown a dust cloud that blocked sunlight, and caused a sudden return to near ice age conditions lasting over 1,000 years. Theory 2. Climate change. The end of the ice age transformed the landscape. Grasslands gave way to forests. The megafauna that depended on open terrain disappeared, and without megafauna, Smilodon had nothing to hunt. But here's the problem. Smilodon has survived previous warming periods for 2 million years, multiple times. The climate had swung before, and Smilodon had endured, so why was this warming different? Theory 3. Human arrival. Modern humans arrived in North America around 15,000 years ago, and the extinction of megafauna tracks almost exactly with the human colonization front moving southward. In South America, extinctions followed later, because humans arrived later. And the megafauna had no fear of humans. They had never seen us. Animals that evolved without human predators don't run. They stand there. And humans hunted strategically with spears, picking off the large, slow-moving animals that Smilodon depended on. We didn't hunt Smilodon, we hunted its food. Funny enough, the answer is probably all three. A cosmic impact destabilizes the ecosystem, climate change accelerates the transformation, and human hunters sweep through, picking off the remaining megafauna. Any one of these alone, Smilodon might have survived. All three at once, that's a combination nothing could adapt to in 1,000 years. But that still doesn't answer the strangest part of this story, because Smilodon may be gone, but its shadow is still walking around. The pronghorn antelope is the fastest land animal in North America. It can sustain speeds of 60 miles per hour. For context, that's faster than any predator alive on this continent. A wolf tops out around 35. A cougar, maybe 50 in a short sprint. Nothing alive can catch a pronghorn at full speed. So why is it that fast? Why evolve a capability with no predator to justify it? Because the predator that justified it is extinct. The pronghorn evolved its blistering speed to outrun the American cheetah, a predator that vanished alongside Smilodon. The pronghorn is running from a ghost. It's been running from something that hasn't existed for 10,000 years. And then there's the avocado. The avocado has a massive pit surrounded by a layer of flesh. That makes no sense from a modern ecological perspective. No animal alive today is built to swallow an avocado whole and disperse the seed. But the giant ground sloth, one of Smilodon's primary prey species, was. It evolved to eat avocados whole, pit and all, and spread the seeds across the continent through its droppings. And across the Americas, large ungulates, deer, elk, other grazing animals still exhibit anti-predator behaviors calibrated to ambush predators that strike from above and ahead, the kill zone of a saber-tooth. These behaviors are less relevant in a world without Smilodon, but evolution moves slowly. The instincts persist long after the predator is gone. Smilodon's absence still shapes the ecosystems of 2 continents. It's been gone for 10,000 years, and animals are still adapting to a world without it. The saber-tooth didn't go extinct. It just became a shadow. Thanks for watching, everybody. Remember to subscribe and hit the like button. I appreciate you all very much. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out this one here.